This morning on the porch, I was reading my scripture, and I was thinking about my grandchildren. I have 9 grandchildren. They have been the light of my life, and the oldest one just turned 11 yesterday. And I was imagining myself without those precious kids in my life, and I just don't think I could, because I truly love them. And I was thinking about really what that word love means. This week we're talking about love in Advent, the 4th week. And we're talking about the scripture about how God is love and He comes in the manger. There's so many times we use the word love frivolously. I love ice cream. I love fires. I love the warm fireplace because it makes me feel good. I love the way the sweater feels. I love my hair. But really, love is much more than that. The scripture that I was thinking about this morning was 1 Corinthians chapter 13. You've probably heard this in weddings and maybe sometimes even in funerals. Most of the time you don't hear it at Christmas. But I thought I'd share it with you because it is about love. It's about those moments when you love your grandchildren, your kids. It's also about those times when you on the front porch and you really love God. It's hard to love all the time. But when we look at God as being love, it's much more easier to see people that are sometimes unlovable through the eyes of Christ. So this chapter in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, that's what it talks about, is love. In verse 4, it begins this way. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast, and it is not proud. It's not rude. It's not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part, but when perfection comes, the imperfect disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I even reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put childish ways behind me. Now we see but a poor reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these 3 remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. If you're like me, you've probably been to Walmart several times trying to find that perfect gift. And sometimes it takes sewing and sometimes a little needlework. Sometimes it just takes a little knee work. I'm talking about the kind where you get on your knees and just pray for those that you love. Not all my family have really come into a relationship with God. Now some of it because they're little grandkids, but some just because they've lived in the real world and been hurt by lots of things. So this season I'm asking you to take a time to love somebody. Love somebody even if they are unlovable. Probably the best way to do it. Isn't that what God does for us? Merry Christmas.